Howdy, it's Straz from the VRChat team. Today we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. More creator economy updates, how we're going to be surveying users to get better feedback, Udon 2, persistence, and future updates to VRChat Plus. Yeah, there's a lot, so let's get into it. First, let's talk about the creator economy. As we mentioned in our update last month, we've opened up applications for new sellers. We've received a ton of interest so far, and are currently in the process of inviting new people into the program. We're excited to get more people making cool things into the creator economy. And speaking of that application, you can find it in the description if you're interested in applying to become a seller. We also wanted to reiterate that we're working hard on expanding some of the features for folks that are already in the program. Last month, we already touched on some of those features, like one-time purchases and automatic subscriptions, and we've been making good progress on their implementation. We're hoping to have them out in the first half of this year, but of course, things could change. But let's get into some of that new stuff I mentioned earlier. Let's talk about Udon 2. As you can probably guess, Udon 2 is a successor to our scripting runtime, Udon. It's been in development for quite a bit, and we're happy to announce that it will be entering closed beta very shortly. Udon 2 will be a powerful upgrade for creators, bringing support for most of C# to scripting for worlds. For those of you that are already familiar with Udon, this means things like allowing the use of lists, custom classes that aren't Udon Sharp behaviors, static variables, and much more. Udon 2 should enable world creators to develop more engaging experiences with less effort. Even if you aren't a creator, this will likely dramatically improve your VRChat experience. You can expect cooler, more interactive, higher performance worlds once creators start using Udon 2. We've been pretty quiet on the development of Udon 2 so far, but as I said a second ago, it'll be entering into closed beta shortly. With that said, there's no timeline right now for an open beta, as we'll want to work with our closed testers to incorporate as much feedback as possible before bringing it to a larger testing group. Keep your eyes open, though, as we'll be updating you on the progress of Udon 2's development in our bi-weekly updates on the Ask forums. Oh, and speaking of the Ask forums, if you are a creator, you should check them out. We've recently revamped them. Link in the description. Udon 2 isn't the only thing entering closed beta soon, though. There's also persistence. Persistence gives world creators the ability to save certain bits of information to individual users. This allows users to essentially load into a world and immediately have that world recognize them. On a small scale, world creators could use the system to allow users to save their settings in the world. So, every time you jumped into your home world, for example, all your post-processing chair and mirror settings would automatically load in. World creators could also use the system to create inventory and XP systems. If you wanted, you could theoretically create a whole full-featured RPG in VRChat. Some of the possibilities these new features unlock go far beyond the examples here. For the more technical-minded folks out there that might want to know how persistence works, this is all done through both player data and player objects. Player data is a synced and persistent key value store, perfect for storing preferences in progress that you want any script in your world to access easily from anywhere. Player objects are, well, objects, which get automatically instantiated, with networking, for every player in the instance, similar to existing player pool prefabs and all their various uses. All sync data inside of player objects is also persistent by default, though you can disable that per object if you want sync, but not persistence. Once again, as mentioned above, persistence will be entering closed beta soon. But just like Udon 2, we don't have a specific timeline for when it will reach open beta. We've been building both of these systems alongside a lot of conversations with our creator community, and we anticipate a lot of feedback as they get a chance to play around with them for the first time. We're doing research on you. We want to make sure that we're doing things that make VRChat better for everyone. To do that, we're going to start using user surveys to better understand who our users are, what they love about VRChat, what they use it for, what they value, and what's missing that can make their experience better. This isn't going to be about bugs or feature requests, those should still go on the feedback forms, though think more design and user experience stuff. We'll be conducting surveys, interviews, studies, and more. The purpose of all this is to collect data to make VRChat better. Any information we collect will be explicitly taken with user consent, meaning you're going to have to sign up to participate, and only used to improve VRChat. We'll be sending out invites to this sort of thing frequently in the future, but if you'd like to volunteer to get your voice heard now, you can check out the link in the description. Finally, let's round things out by talking about something a little different: improving VRChat Plus. One of our goals this year is to give folks that subscribe to VRChat Plus a little more value, and we'll be doing that by adding in a few extra features throughout the year. Two of the things that we're looking at right now are increasing the amount of custom emoji slots and adding in animated emoji. Both of these things have been requested quite a bit last year, so we're hoping to get them into the client in the first half of the year. That's not all though. While we aren't ready to share anything just yet, we have a few more really interesting ideas for how to give VRChat Plus subscribers a bit more bang for their buck, so stay tuned. That's all for this developer update. As always, if you'd like to keep up on the day-to-day development of VRChat, I strongly suggest keeping an eye out for our bi-weekly updates, which are posted to our Ask forums. As usual, thanks so much for loving VRChat as much as we do.